Hi, I'm Diederik, and welcome to this first video on gut string exercises. These exercises are meant to be played on open gut strings, like I said in my introduction video. And if you haven't already, you can download the exercises I created for these gut strings on my website, and there's a link to that below. In this video, we're going to be looking at sound production on gut strings, how to create a beautiful sound. If you look at your strings, whether they're gut strings or not actually, you'll notice that they're not two-dimensional. They're three-dimensional. They're round. And in order for the string to sound quickest, in order for the response to be quickest, we're going to have to follow the curve of the string. Just like we follow the curve of the bridge, and ideally also follow the curve of the bow, because as you see, our bows are not straight. That's why they're called bows. So in order to do that, we're going to do something called, I like to call pronation, which is a petting motion. When you're petting a cat or a dog, you pet it like this. And playing the string is similar to that. We're petting the bow with our hand. We're making this movement with our hand, of course with our hand being stuck here. So we're going to be doing that even though our hand is in one place. So a good way to practice sound production is the messa di voce. The messa di voce was also used in Baroque to practice sound production, because it was a commonly used expressive tool, a swell that was used to express certain emotions and imitate the human voice. So this is a good thing to practice on all open strings, but we're going to start now on the A string. So we're going to start with a soft sound, note without attack, and we're slowly going to go to a full sound. And I've noticed that a good way to practice this is to first find the point where your string becomes noise. In a lot of gut strings, this noise will happen sooner than in other strings. They respond quicker. So keep it applying pressure to the bow until you only hear noise like this. We're going to do this in two bows first. So we're going to apply the pressure until there's noise, then stop where the noise starts happening, and then we're going to go back and decrease the pressure back to the frog. So here is where the noise started happening for me. Then we're going to go back to the frog until there's no pressure anymore. And I want you to practice that too, starting on the up bow. Into the down bow. Until there. It's not a very pleasant sound to hear, but it'll give you an impression of where that is. It's very important to memorize at what point things start to break, so you can start playing around there. Of course, you're not going to want to be anywhere near that breaking point in the sound. You're going to want to be quite below that. But getting that noise is a good way to gauge where you are, how much you can give. So let's now try to do the messa di voce on one bow, and still applying the pressure until we hear noise. So here we are, and now I let go. Now, once I have that, I'm going to try to make a nice swell, messa di voce, and try to get to a powerful sound, but not one that sounds choking, like I'm choking the string. And we're going to do that with bow speed. So I'm going to try that a couple times and see which one I like the most. So that one was nice. I was playing far below, like 20% below where I was starting to make noise. I'm going to try to get to like 30% less than where the noise started. See if I like that sound more. I like that a little bit more. For me, the string didn't sound too choked. A good thing to also do is record yourself doing this, because a lot of the time we don't know how much pressure we're actually using, and something that sounds good to our ear might not sound that great in a microphone. So so far the Messa di Voce. Another good way to develop sound production is with a bow division exercise. So in this exercise, started at a low BPM, around 40 or 50, and we're going to start this stroke with a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a sting, like a bee sting, but we don't want that sting to be too big. We want it just enough to accentuate the start of a new stroke. So we're going to divide the bow first in two, and then later on you can divide it in 3, 4, and 6, and 8, and so on. So when you're giving this a kick, you want that little sting to be to sound roughly the same in every part of the bow that you're using. But in different parts of the bow, you're going to need more or less weight. In the frog, of course, you're going to need much less than you're going to need at the tip. At the tip, we're going to be using a lot of the index finger to make that little kick happen. It's also good to practice these separately if you'd like. Just in the middle of the bow and at the frog. You almost need no weight at all in order to make that sting. Again, practice it. Once you get to the sound you like, make a mental picture of that, internalize it, and then try to imitate it. So once you have that down on open strings, try it on every open string separately. Try to put it in a scale. This is a G major scale. Something like that. All right, that is sound production on gut strings so far. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you can join me next time for an exercise on smooth string changes, how to make a beautiful smooth string change on gut strings. Hope you enjoy, and see you next time.